Hi, welcome to Magpie Moonchild. My name is Kayleigh and this is a deck unboxing of a deck that has taken literally years to come. This is the most epic failure of a Kickstarter I have ever had, and I've been backing Kickstarters for about 4 or 5 years now. So this deck, this design was right in the pinnacle of the lockdown. It was launched, the Kickstarter. It was launched in May 2020, and it closed, I think, around mid-June 2020. The date that it was supposed to be delivered, so they had 2 stages. So we were going to have the digital in the end of 2020. So I think that was October, November time. We were supposed to get the PDF version, the digital version of all the images. And then we were supposed to get the physical deck itself in January 2021. It is now September, the end of September, 2 days from October 2023. So there has been catastrophic failures after catastrophic failures. They had artists, they had to change artists, they had to do all sorts. They hadn't even finished doing all the designs when they launched the Kickstarter. It took longer than imagined to do those. There were several spell decks and D&D decks around this, 5e decks around this. So there was different stages that people were getting decks and things. Anyway, we thought we were finally getting it earlier in the year. And then there was issues with customs and pallets, and then they didn't send. This was supposed to be sent in July, August time, and then they didn't have enough stock. 65% of the stock for the UK one was missing or something. So here, after 3.5 years nearly, we finally have a deck. So if this is not blowing my mind awesome, it's been a catastrophe. But there's been hardly any communication. Everybody's always had to chase and chase and chase. I think we've had about 1 update a month, if that, every 6 weeks, two months. And every time they say, oh, it's coming in the next one, or it's coming on the next one, we'll have more info of when it's coming in the... I think we were even told it was going to be shipped and it hadn't even been produced at one point. So it's been a complete farce as far as like Kickstarter campaign and thing has. Other people have had other things from the Kickstarter people, and they have also had the same issues with other campaigns that they've had. So it's not just down to a one-time thing. I do believe they're learning each time they do a campaign, but you would just stop, wouldn't you, until you got it all together? Anyway, so let's have a look at the things that come. So because I ordered a tier, I get a cloth and I get a pin badge with it, which is why I chose this tier, because I wanted this pin badge of the magician card in the deck. So we have this gorgeous magician design. Absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now the wonderful thing that came with this deck was the fact that we did get the PDF versions of this, the digital versions of this, along the way. So when the artwork was completed, we did, to their credit, they did give us the PDFs earlier than we got the physical decks. However, we wanted the physical decks because that's what we want to play with. So we have this gorgeous silk scarf. It is a little small for a reading cloth, to be honest. It's not even, it's probably 2 A4 pieces of paper. It's a silky satin material. And it's got obviously this design on it. It's very see-through, as you can see the deck below, but let's move it out of the way for a minute. Very see-through. I can even see the wood, the grain through the pattern. It is, I don't know if it's supposed to look blotchy in certain places or that's a misprint. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's the background of this design on the front, the background. But to be honest, for a reading cloth, one, it's not square. Normally they're about 50 by 50. And it's very thin, very cheap for a reading cloth, to be perfectly honest, especially when you've waited 3 years for it. It's not great. It's not that great. And I'm going to be picky with fabric because I do a lot of sewing. I am a seamstress. So, apologies, I had a delivery then. So, good old Amazon. Okay, so that's the reading cloth. Let's put that away. Over there. Okay, let's see the deck its actual self. So this is the Fablemakers animated tarot deck. Now this is supposed to be lenticular, so when you move the cards, the images should move on the actual cards. So we will try and see how it goes. Let's get the plastic off. Now I know there you go, pulled some of it off earlier to try and get it, or trimmed it earlier, cut it earlier to try and get it to come off. So as you can see, it's quite a big box. It's about slightly smaller than A4 size box. So it's a decent sized box. It is a 2-part box. Doesn't have any thumb holes, but we'll go with that. So we have this embossed design on the side with this foiling, and it's the same on the top and the side, and we have the image on the side with the 5E design. Now I don't play Dungeons and Dragons or games like that, so I don't really know what that means, but I got it for being a tarot deck. But if it's your bag to do the other, then that's fine. So this is from Hit Point Press. As I said, it's been awful communication. I don't know how they are when the things are actually in stock, although there was complaints on the Kickstarter that people had bought them on the website and were having them delivered sooner than the Kickstarting backers, who had been waiting 2 or 3 years at this point, and people were getting the decks that they'd ordered from the website as though it was in stock. So there was a lot of complaints that the people who actually funded the deck being created were being put at the back of the queue for people that had ordered on the website. So it was a bit frustrating. So it says that copyright is 2020. Well, that makes it 2022, sorry, because that's when they actually physically made the thing, or tried to physically make the thing. So set your story in motion through the magic of animation. These beautifully illustrated tarot cards come to life in your hands. The Fablemakers animated tarot brings an energetic dimension of movement to traditional symbols to help you craft your own story. So the 2-part box comes apart. I will put the lid to the side. We have the booklet, and as you know, I always do that second. So we have 2 piles in the box. So we have thank you for purchasing, and obviously share your experience. Oh, absolutely, I will when I'm done. And then we have protective film, sleeve your deck, and then tilt to animate. So let's have a look at these decks. So I'm guessing they're in 2 piles because they are 2 thicknesses. So as you can see, they're plastic. They are slightly bent coming out the box, but we'll see how we go. We have the Fool, and as you can see, that is very cool. Very cool. Look at that, his cape's going. I think I'm going to like these, even though I've had to, they should be worth it. Although that has bubbled, so that's a bit of a worry that I have bubbling on my cards that I've waited 3 years for. So I will raise that with them in a moment. We have the Magician. Very cool that they do that. We have the High Priestess. We have the Empress, the Emperor, we have the Hierophant, very cool. We have the Lovers, we have the Chariot, Strength, very cool. The Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune. It's very cool to see them in motion. Ace of Cups, interesting. I'm going to put them into suits as they've split off like that. 2 of Cups, 2 of Chalices. The 3. The 4. There's not too much movement on that one, is there? There's a little bit of light on the tree and the cloud moving a little bit. The 5 of Chalices, so the water's moving. The 6. I like the wind blowing behind her. The 7. A lot more movement in that one. The 8. I thought he'd be moving more. His cape's kind of going. The 9 of Cups. So that tablecloth is very much moving. The 10. Rainbow sheening a little bit. Kids dancing, clothes moving a little bit. The Page of Cups, that fish going in and out, that's cute. The Knight of Chalices, so his hair's going. The Queen of Chalices. So again, not a lot of movement on her, just the sea kind of going in and out, the sun moving a little bit, and some sparkling. The King of Chalices, so that water moving around him. And the ships bobbing. So we have, that's the whole of the cups there. So we have the Ace of Coins. So it's spinning on the hand. Very cool. The Two of Coins. So I'm guessing they're going to spin on most of these. 3. Very cool. The 4. The 5. Oh, the snow is drifting. The 6. 7. I like that they're all moving at different times. The 8 of Coins. Now they're not moving in this one. They are having a very slight glimmer, and his hammer is going up and down to carve. So the 9. So they're all spinning. The vines are moving. Very beautiful. The 10 of Coins, they're spinning again. And his hand is stroking, or its light is playing on the dress, on his outfit. And the dresses at the back. So we have the Page of Coins. Spinning the coins. The flowers are moving, the buttercups. We have the Knight, and we have these leaves going across. We have the Queen, again the leaves going across, and the rabbit is jumping in the corner. And we have the King of Coins and his throne. Spinning that coin in his palm. So there we go, sleeve your deck. Okay. So you put it in sleeves, they recommend to do that with, okay. Back to the majors with Justice. The Hanged Man. This deck has also come out pretty bent as well. So, Hanged Man. Death. Flag is going. A bit hi-ho silver, but there we go. Temperance. So, slight bobbing of the wings. Movement of the water. The Devil. The flame is going and they're bobbing their heads and tails. Tower. Oh, look at that crack of lightning. That's very cool. The Star, which is always going to be calmer. It's just pretty much the water moving. The Moon, they are howling, and it's just the howling and the wind, the moon having its pulsey between the phases. The Sun, we have movement in the flowers, and the sun is flickering in different places. Judgment, the angel has the fabric moving, and the light is moving, and the hair. And then we have the World, and it's spinning like a helix around her with the wind as well. Beautiful. So we have the Ace of Swords with the wind coming around. The Two of Swords, we have waves that are crashing in the background. The Three of Swords with the rain. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Five of Swords. The 6. We are moving. You can see the more tumultuous water with the calmer in the background. So I like that. 7 of Swords. He's wiggling his butt. He's twerking. We have the 8 of Swords. So the wind is picked up on her outfit. 9 of Swords. The swords are fighting. There's a figure here fighting. We have the 10 of Swords, the sun, and the shine on the swords moves. We have the Page of Swords, so they're with the wind. We have the Knight of Swords. Again, wind. The Queen of Swords. That butterfly's moving. And the King of Swords. What is moving on that one? Oh, some dragonflies there. So, Ace of Wands. All the sparkles and magic off the wand. Two of Wands, the earth is spinning. It's very cool. Three of Wands. I like that. The wind coming off the sea. The Four of Wands, they are dancing. They are celebrating. It's very cool. The flowers are budding as well. Five of Wands, they are in battle. There's them pulsing on the hands and stuff. Six of Wands, celebrating. So the wands are all moving. And the horse's mane is moving. Seven of Wands, they're coming at him. I like that. Eight of Wands, that movement, the air around them. Nine of Wands, the breeze and the never giving up movement with the hair and everything, stance. The Ten of Wands, the houses are glowing more a little bit as you move as well. The Page of Wands, oh look at that magic coming down the wand, very cool. The Knight of Wands, movement around it. Okay, Queen of Wands, magic. And the King of Wands looking like Doctor Strange. Look at all that magic going on around him. Very cool. So let's, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I wouldn't say you could riffle shuffle these necessarily because they're probably not the stuff that would do it. And they're like a deck of cards thickness when you actually, look how wide they are. They're a wodge in your hands. So let's see. How do they shuffle? Well, they're a bit hard to shuffle with because they're that thick, but you can pull them off individually. Very cool that you can do that. So the material is a card with a plastic coating, and as you can see, they're quite thick with this plastic front. And you can see the tiny little lenticular bits in there when you're, hopefully you can see that on there. The little lines that make it move. The back design is reversible. You can put it any way up. You could definitely wash with this one. They will move around each other, but I'm not even going to try riffle shuffle in them because there's just no point. But yeah, so that's the cards themselves. Let's just chuck them in the box for a second. And then we have the booklet. So we have the Fablemakers booklet, the animated booklet. Let's see. So we have contents and credits, and then welcome to the Fablemakers Tarot. And then it has shuffling it, cutting it, intuiting animation, identity, imagery and language, tarot basics, so some keywords in the glossary, intuition, house rules if there are rules, crafting questions, divining answers, so elements suggested there as well. It's a really hard book to actually turn the pages in. Connecting with your deck, interpreting reversals, level 1 tarot, understanding the cards, so minor arcana, pip cards, court cards, and then we go into the major arcana. So we have part of the image at the top, the numbering, the name, and then obviously primary abilities, skill proficiencies, I guess that's in the game as much as anything else, upright keywords and reverse keywords, and then a description of them, and each of them for the majors has that. Then we go into the minor arcana. So we start with the chalices, and you just have you have a full color image of the card rather than a partial, and then you have upright and reverse meanings for each of the cards. Same with coins, and again in their colour scheme, matching colour schemes in the background. Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. And then license is there as well, open game license, product identity and open gaming content. And there you go, hit point press. So that is the Fablemakers animated tarot deck. I probably would have been a lot more excited if it had arrived 2 years ago, like it was supposed to. even 2 years ago, because it would have been late then anyway. But it's very cool that it moves, that each one moves. I'm going to have to contact Hit Point Press because the full card is broken or damaged before I've even got into the box. And after 3 years, that's pretty disappointing. But hopefully this has been useful to you. Hopefully if you order it now from them, you should get it straight away because they finally sent out to the backers. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any comments, please comment down below and let me know. Sorry for the interruptions. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.